Direct News TV. September 8, 2023. Russia-Ukraine War, List of Key Events, Day 563. Fighting. Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky said that Russian air superiority was stopping Kyiv's counteroffensive, and he complained of the slow rate of both Western arms deliveries and sanctions on Russia. If we are not in the sky and Russia is, they stop us from the sky. They stop our counteroffensive, he said. Elon Musk said he refused a Ukrainian request to activate his Starlink satellite network in Crimea's port city of Sevastopol last year to aid an attack on Russia's fleet there. Musk said he feared complicity in a major act of war. The governor of Ukraine's Kherson region said at least 3 people were killed in a Russian air raid. Russia said it repelled numerous attacks along the front line and inflicted hundreds of losses on Ukrainian forces. Russia's FSB security services have arrested a Russian citizen for allegedly plotting to blow up a railway in Crimea. 2 Ukrainian drones were shot down by Russian air defenses while allegedly attempting to attack a polling station in the Russia-occupied Kherson region as voting was underway, Russia's TASS news agency reported. The voting for Russian-installed legislatures in the Donetsk, Luhansk, Kherson and Zaporizhia regions has already begun and concludes Sunday. A Russian missile hit a police building in the central Ukrainian city of Kryvyi Rih, killing a policeman and injuring several others. Ukraine's Air Force shot down 16 out of 20 Iranian-made Shahed drones launched overnight by Russia in the 5th attack this week on Danube River port facilities in the Odessa region. Cuban authorities have arrested 17 people on charges related to a human trafficking ring that allegedly lured Cubans to serve in the Russian army's war in Ukraine. Regional security. Russia summoned the ambassador of Armenia over unfriendly steps as Yerevan announced military exercises with the U.S. military. The Armenian Prime Minister's wife visited Kiev, and Yerevan's decision to join the International Criminal Court. Politics. Ukraine's foreign ministry slammed sham elections in occupied Ukrainian territories, saying they were worthless and would have no legal standing. Zelensky said that Ukraine was prepared to organize elections even while the war with Russia was ongoing. Russia is hoping the upcoming U.S. presidential elections will lower Washington's support for Kyiv, Zelensky said. British Foreign Secretary James Cleverly condemned elections being held in Russian-annexed regions of Ukraine. "You can't hold elections in someone else's country," he wrote on social media. Sanctions. Russia is shipping its first crude oil cargo to Brazil, as it seeks to diversify its list of buyers due to U.S. and European Union sanctions. HSBC will halt commercial payments by business customers to and from Russia and Belarus, the bank has said, as lenders tighten restrictions amid sanctions imposed after Russia's invasion of Ukraine. Zelensky said that his allies had eased up on sanctions imposed on Russia and called for a renewed drive to impose further punitive measures on Moscow. Ukraine's foreign ministry spokesperson Oleg Nikolenko said Ukraine opposes the idea of easing sanctions on Russia in order to revive a grain deal between the two countries. Spain has become more reliant on Russian natural gas even though its overall imports are falling, government data showed. The Council of the EU announced additional sanctions on 6 people for serious human rights violations in connection with their actions towards members of ethnic groups in Crimea. The individuals listed include prosecutors and judges active in courts established by Russia's occupying force in Crimea who played a role in handing a prison term to a journalist who belongs to the Crimean Tatar community. Diplomacy. G20 negotiators have been unable to resolve disagreements over the wording of the summit declaration on the war in Ukraine, according to a draft seen by Reuters, leaving any possible breakthrough to bloc leaders during the 2-day meeting. Asked if India could act as a potential mediator on the Ukraine crisis, UN Secretary-General Antonio Guterres said the 2 parties of the conflict have decided to continue the fighting. The UN chief was speaking during a news conference in New Delhi as India hosts the G20 summit this weekend. UK Prime Minister Rishi Sunak says it was not his place to tell India what position it should take on the war in Ukraine. Bangladeshi Prime Minister Sheikh Hasina has called for a peaceful end to the war in Ukraine. Espionage. The United States Central Intelligence Agency has released a video targeting Moscow officials with an appeal to tell the truth about a system it said is riddled with lying sycophants. The agency, which is trying to recruit spies in Russia, released the video on social media in Russian, entitled, "Why I Made Contact with the CIA, for Myself." Black Sea exports. Romania's government plans to upgrade road infrastructure in the Black Sea port of Constanta, which could help more Ukrainian grain to transit through the country and on to international markets. Anti-corruption. Ukraine's anti-corruption agencies froze more than $80 million in assets belonging to tycoon Ihor Kolomoisky for 48 hours as part of an embezzlement investigation. Kolomoisky, one of Ukraine's richest men, was ordered into custody on suspicion of money laundering last week, according to media reports. My name is Kingsley. Please like, share, subscribe and hit that notification bell so you can be the first to be notified whenever we post. You won't regret it.